Well, hello there. My name's Dave Detman. I'm the owner and operator of Dr. Time and Dr. Time's Fine Clock Shop. I've been a clock repairman since the 1970s. I was schooled at MATC under Gerald C. Yeager. It was a 2-year course. I went there from 1979 through 1980. After that, I went to my parents' store where I apprenticed for a couple of years, took over the clock repair division of it in 1982, took over the store's operations in the late 90s, and ran it up till now. I've repaired over 3,000 grandfather clocks, 2,000 battery clocks, and over 3,000 wind-up clocks of wall and mantle and cuckoo clocks. We're going to take a look at what we do here at Dr. Time, and we're going to start by taking a basket case apart and putting it back together. Now what you're about to see is a standard repair. We get these all the time. It looks a lot worse than it is, at least to me. And we're going to take it from way you see that the customer brought it in to what it looks like at the end of this film. Now here's what the customer brought in. They usually bring in a box and it's usually filled with parts. I like them better when they're whole, but this is what it looks like in the box. Just pieces of an old clock that have probably been sitting under the bed for a long time. Alright, now let's see exactly what's in this box. Well, here we've got the dial assembly in the front of it. Now take a good look at the condition of this movement. Alright? Why don't you remember what that looks like? Because it's going to be completely different when we're done with it. Okay? Looks like the cabinet's here, but it's certainly falling apart in very bad condition. We also have some pieces of wood in here. Alright. And some more pieces of wood. And some more pieces of wood. So, as you can see, we've got a lot of work to do. But just watch, you're going to love it when it's done. The first thing we're going to do is take the hands off. Alright? That's held on by a nut, which unscrews, or a pin. And then carefully twist them off like that. And then we're going to remove the movement. Well, now we've got the movement out, as you can see. Alright? And as you can see, just like I showed you before, it's in very poor condition on both sides. What we look for are worn bushings. In other words, the brass wears out around the ends of these gears. So we look for end shake, which we have a ton of throughout the entire time train and the heavy-duty parts that take the wear on the chime train. We look for hidden bushings, like removing this bell here. And that's going to show us some spots on the back that you might miss otherwise. This is in need of a complete overhaul. What we're going to do next is let down the mainsprings and run this through an ultrasonic cleaner and then an ultrasonic rinse. Hi again. This is one of our cleaning stations. These are ultrasonic cleaners. An ultrasonic cleaner cleans via sound waves. In other words, what it does, there's a cleaning solution in here. And we use a concentrate that's ammoniated. And then we also run it through a rinse when we're done to remove any of the deposits left over by the cleaner. What it does is it creates sound waves ultrasonically through the cleaning solution, which forms microscopic bubbles on the surface of the movement, millions of them at a time, and they grow until they burst. And this is happening exponentially, billions at a time. And after about 15 minutes in the ultrasonic cleaner, every dirt deposit in here will be taken off completely. Now you notice the springs are down. That's so that the cleaning fluid can get inside of these straps right here. If you run these through a cleaner with the springs tight, even an ultrasonic isn't going to get everything out, so you want to do this first. Now often we disassemble these even completely further down than this before cleaning them. In this case, I want to make sure I mark all the bushings we're going to do, and I don't want to miss anything. So this one's going to be run through the cleaner twice. Now how often do we run something through a cleaner twice? Almost 100% of the time. Most of what we get is in this condition or worse. So you can be assured that it's going to be clean when you get it back. But that's just the first step. Alright, so let's get going. Just going in the cleaner first. You'll see it again after it comes out of this one here, which would be the rinse. And away we go. Alright, here we are. We're all done running it through the cleaner. As you can see, it looks 100 times better. Let's zoom in, get a better look at how she came out. Now what we've done here is exactly what we said. We've run it through the cleaner and the rinse. As you can see, it looks pretty good. Now some clock repair people would like to maybe, at this point, just oil it up and put it back in the clock and see if it works. But I don't think that's a good idea. No, no, no. Because this does not take care of the worn parts. What this does do, it allows us to get in very close and get a good look at the worn parts, which is what we're going to do. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You'll notice, let me use this pair of tweezers here. Right here, okay, that's the end of a gear. It's a pivot. Okay, this brass around it is the bushing. If I shake this gear over here, you'll actually see this move back and forth a little bit. Watch closely. See that? Okay, you should not see that shake at all. Right? Now, in this particular works, there are several of them. This one here is worn. This one's worn. This one's worn. This one's worn. We take off the bell, and we're going to have this one here is worn, and this one here is worn. We're going to flip the movement over, and we're going to see the same ones on the other side. This one, this one, this one, and this one. This one, and this one. So this is a pretty normal bushing job. We're going to go in and replace these bushings. We'll take you step by step through it. Alright, now as you can see, we've got the entire movement laid out for you here. The back plate and the front plate, your main springs. You notice the springs have been locked down. That's so you don't hurt yourself. Secondly, we've got the chime train laid out over here and the time train laid out over here. Now, these bushings in here have worn, and they worn egg-shaped. They don't wear perfectly round. They wear in the shape of an egg. And in order to find the original center, what we're going to do is we're going to drill that hole out much larger, stamp a new piece of brass in there, and then using special tools, we're going to hone it out until it's a perfect match with the pivot end of a gear. Now, the pivot ends of these gears, we gauge them so that we can get it to be as near perfect match as possible. Now, another step we do is we're going to polish the gears and polish the pivots. But a baker doesn't let all of his secrets out of the kitchen. So I'm not going to show you what we're going to do that. However, keep in mind what they look like now, because when we're done polishing them, they're going to look fabulous.